Good evening, universe. Tonight I'm going to be talking about the recent reveal of the casting for the main trio in the Percy Jackson live action upcoming series. The three actors who will be playing Percy, Annabeth, and Grover have recently been revealed. Percy was revealed a little while back, but here are all of them. Show it on the screen. And I just kind of wanted to talk about my feelings about this. Okay, first, let me back up and also show you the official art. And then hopefully I'm also going to put the actors, and then they're going to have their counterparts above and below. Okay, so if you're not familiar with Percy Jackson or the characters or the actors, now you are caught up. You're caught up in that particular facet anyway. Let me back up and say that I am a big fan of the Percy Jackson books, all of the Percy Jackson verse. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Heroes of Olympus, and the Trials of Apollo, all of which take place in the same universe. I have loved all of those books. That's these. Not all of them. My Percy ones are up there. I know it's hideous that they're it's because I had to put the paperbacks up top. It doesn't matter. That's not what this video is about. What this video is about is the fan response to the actors portraying these characters. So when the Percy actor came out, I was, 1, excited, 2, wondering if he was going to dye his hair black. I feel like this was a pretty common response. We, as readers of the books, have a very distinct idea of what Percy looks like. The actor playing Percy, I am not great with actor names, so it's going to be here on the screen so that I don't get it wrong. So yes, Percy actor, he was the first one who was revealed, and mostly it looked like people were super excited. And following this, I read Rick Riordan's blog post about it, where he mentions probably a lot of you are wondering if the actor will be dyeing his hair black to match the description of Percy that is in the books. That is something that I wondered. In the blog post, Rick Riordan says basically that they haven't had any conversations about this, which essentially means to me that he doesn't care whether the actor playing Percy has blonde hair or black hair, which is actually something that he goes on to say in the blog post, indicating that it doesn't matter to him if the physical attributes that he ascribed to Percy are the ones that are shown on the screen. What matter to him are the personality traits, as well as the character arc and the age. So those were the things that mattered to him, and he feels this actor will be able to portray the Percy that we get in the books. And to him, that's a lot more important than the surface level, does he have black hair? Which to me makes a lot of sense. Now, I'll admit, I definitely have been one of those book fans that gets frustrated when the actors don't look like how I expect them to look, how I imagined them inside of my brain when I was reading. Which is kind of ridiculous because, first of all, humans can't look like what I see inside of my brain. That would be ridiculously high standards. Secondly, I already have those images inside of my mind. It's like I've already experienced that. I don't think that there should be this level of trying to get it exactly how it was imagined inside of the books, because I don't think it serves anything. We already have our imagined characters. We already experienced them. It's basically setting up an unfair request, which is basically the actor has to exactly be the character. They have to be able to portray them exactly as I imagine them, and they have to look exactly as I imagined them, which I don't think is necessary because we already have those versions of them inside of our mind. I guess I just don't understand anymore why it matters so much. And this brings me to the bigger thing that because most people I think were excited about Percy. But mostly the fan response has been to, you guessed it, Annabeth. Specifically, most of the fan response has been really excited and supportive of this young actress. However, there have definitely been people complaining that essentially she is not white. Again, Annabeth in the books is described as a white girl with blonde hair and gray eyes. People have argued that part of the reason why they're upset is because Annabeth pushes back against the dumb blonde stereotype, and that is part of her character arc. It's part of what drives her, is pushing back against this idea that people will underestimate her, especially in the area of the mind where she excels, because of the way that she looks. Now, people have said it, but I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm pretty sure this actress can easily portray a situation in which this Annabeth is frequently underestimated, especially in the realm of the mind, for the way that she looks. And I think it's going to be a lot more important and relatable for the people who look like this actress. Having a black Annabeth, I think, is amazing. Rick Riordan responded to the upset fans in his blog as well, so I'm not really going to touch on that too much, but simply put, I just wanted to say that as a fan who used to think that the appearance of a character was the end-all be-all best way to represent them on screen, I no longer feel that way. I think that it makes a lot more sense to choose somebody who is going to portray the character as the author intended them. Now, specifically, Rick Riordan sat in on meetings and readings where the actors would perform as the characters, and he thought that these three are the ones that will perform the characters as he understands and imagines them on the screen as best as possible. This has been kind of a rambling video, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that the visuals are really less important. I understand the visuals are what you go to the screen for rather than reading, but how can I put this? I feel that those visuals are often put into books for the sake of giving the reader that thing to imagine, to be able to interact with the reader in a visual way despite the medium being text-based. I guess I'm saying that why I don't understand why people are obsessed with Annabeth being white when what matters in the books are the ways that the characters and their arcs made you feel, the story that's being presented. What does it matter if the character is in white? Also, I just think it's interesting that there were a lot more people upset about Annabeth not being white versus Percy not having black hair. I just think it's interesting to note. So there were also some fans who specifically said I would be just as upset if they changed the ethnicities of any of the other characters going forward. For example, the following series is more ethnically diverse in the main 7. There are a couple of different ethnicities there, and these are specifically described inside the books. People have said that this is just as egregious as if you changed one of those ethnicities. And while I understand where that's coming from, there is significantly less of a history of that happening in that direction than it happening in this direction. And I just think that's important to note. Also worth noting, there were some people, the same people who were mad that this Annabeth is black. Some people said she would have made a really great Hazel. Hazel is a character that exists in the second series of 5 books, the Heroes of Olympus. Some people are saying, well, I'm just upset because she's not blonde like Annabeth is, and they're not going to dye her hair or change it or anything like that, and that's upsetting, which, okay. But if you think that this actress could play Hazel without changing her hair, then it seems like the description of Hazel has not been read accurately either. Because Hazel's hair is the color of cinnamon, and I just want to point out that it's weird how people think that that would be a great match, but that she's not blonde enough to be Annabeth. If you're upset about the whiteness, say it's the whiteness. Some people did. And that's fine. I mean, I guess, not really. It sucks. Basically, my feelings on it come down to, I think that this girl is going to make a great Annabeth. Rick Riordan picked her because he thinks that she is going to portray the emotions that Annabeth portrays in the books. That's what matters to me. Secondly, Even if I was upset about this casting because she doesn't physically match the descriptors given inside of the book, does that matter to me? Does the imagined Annabeth have to be the same as the one on the screen so much that I would bring down a young girl's excitement about getting to play this character? Absolutely not. Additionally, I think the positivity of seeing a Black Annabeth in a huge series, it's going to bring so much positivity towards readers of color for this series that they might not have necessarily had. Specifically, I think there are a lot of young Black girls who will be really excited to see the lead girl be portrayed this way. And that matters to me way more than my fake vision cloud idea of Annabeth inside of my mind. Additionally, she's still there. It's not like the Annabeth that I imagined stops existing when this one comes on screen. I can just read the books and imagine her again. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Tell me your thoughts in an unracist way, and have a beautiful night, universe.